You're tuned into 90.1 FM KKFI, Kansas City Community Radio. This is Art Speak Radio, and I am Maria Vasquez Boyd. Next up, we have a group of people. We have Terance Williams, who is the sponsorship coordinator for the Music and More Foundation. We have Karis Harrington, poet and writer, and we also have Annette Billings. Our good friend Annette Billings is here in the studio today. So welcome, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. They're a little shy. So we're going to talk about the second annual Women and Young Ladies of Poetry that's going to take place this Friday at the Nelson-Atkins Museum at 4525 Oak, and that's going to be from 6 to 8. So let's hear some more about that, Terance.
Yeah, this is the second annual Women and Young Ladies of Poetry. Like you said, it's going to be at the Nelson-Atkins Museum of Art. And it's going to be historic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
And why is it going to be historic? Is it just a whole new atmosphere?
A whole new atmosphere.
Yeah.
Usually when we do the Nelson-Atkins Museum, we pull in about 300 people, fans that listen to poetry and they love it.
And that's a great auditorium. It's a great venue. You know,
It's beautiful.
It's all about the poets.
That's right.
Who are some of the people who are participating?
Some of the people that's participating is Karis Harrington,
Yes.
Hello,
Yes.
Karis.
Hello.
Annette Billings,
Hello.
which are here today. Ogechi, she'll be there. Annette Conway, she'll be there. Who else?
Oh gosh.
There's a lot of people.
There's a lot.
There's at least
Well, I know
more
you-
than 10 poets performing.
Yes.
Yeah, and because this is the second annual, it's a different group from the first.
Yeah, this is a different group from the first. Yes, it is.
You know, this has got to be really exciting. It's hosted by Mia Sade.
Mia Sade.
Sade?
She's hosting the event. Mary Moore, she's going to narrate the event also.
So, what are the different types of work that we're going to hear? Is it going to be slam poetry? Is it going to be just, you tell me.
Well, I've never produced a slam event, ever, but I will in April for National Poetry Month. This one, it's a variety of different talents. We got poets that do love poems, militant poems, social issues. Help me out here. Social issues. Just a large variety. Like I said, there's more than 10 poets that will be performing.
Yeah, terrific. You know, and just real quick, the musicandmorefoundation.com for more information, or the nelsonatkins.org. Karis,
Yes.
you're a writer,
I
and
am.
what will your work be about?
A lot of growth. I think most of my poetry kind of speaks to the events that make me who I am. Just it kind of speaks to the essence of me. I think that we're all products eventually of our experiences, our exposure, our traumas, our pains, and hopefully eventually our joys. And I think that comes out in the way that I write. I heard you mention earlier how you will sometime elicit humor and kind of interject that in your poetry. That's something I love to do, but what I plan for this Friday's event is a little bit more static, a little bit, you know, just kind of authentic to kind of the evolution that I consider has kind of come to make me who I am. And so it tends to be a little deep. It tends to be very, I think, typical of what I normally do. Even though I love to, you know, use a little humor, it won't be that. I'm very, very excited, however, to be a part of this year's production.
And even though it's called the second annual Women and Young Ladies of Poetry, I have to ask this question, is there a difference between women's poetry and everyone else?
I think so.
I mean, is there a sort of...
I think we write about what we know best.
Yes,
As
yes.
women, we know best
Sure.
about what it means to navigate this world from a woman's point of view.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, so last year was just women of poetry.
Mhm.
And this year, my good friend Desiree Rogers, she said, well, Terance, we have some young ladies that want to perform. So I changed the name to women and young ladies of poetry.
And they're really going to thrive and flourish with the writers and the poets who are more established, who have been
Yes.
writing for
Yes.
some time,
I
right?
think the variety of age will be a real strong
Yeah.
point.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
I
We'll
agree.
have the very young ladies, young women, to
Mhm.
those of us that are older. So I
Yes.
think
We're
that,
vintage.
yes.
I like that.
Yeah, I think that will be a very strong essence of this event.
I agree.
Because I think there's something that you learn from one another,
Yes.
Absolutely.
you know, and the age difference.
The
and
older from the
wisdom.
younger and the younger from the older.
Absolutely.
It's very difficult.
Yeah, that's terrific. Now, we have quite a bit of time. Would you, either one of you, like to read some of your work? And I, you know, if you want to read what you're going to read for that night, that's fine. I'm not going to put you on the spot. But, you know, whatever you want to read is
Well, I'll say what I'm gonna do for Friday, but I have a series called Pieces of Me, and they're all kind of little glimpses at things that I've been through or things that I've realized about myself. And I write for therapeutic reasons, I write for joy, I write, you know, when I have just something to say. So if do you
Yes,
mind?
please.
Okay, I'll go ahead and start.
So
They're
nice
they're
to
three
do.
very, they're three very short pieces, and they kind of flow into each other. So I'll go ahead and start. Dismal is the way my thoughts ring today. Treacherous are my perspective ways, my color gray. If ever there had been fight in me, it's now forever gone. I lift up my eyes to see, no sight. Forlorn, I wished upon a star today, it shone not one ray on me. I looked above for counsel, there was no remedy. I asked the powers for their help, they asked me not to think. I understood their unwillingness, I probably wouldn't help me. I rubbed a cross for luck, picked a four-leaf clover at lunch, rang a bell for serenity's sake, threw pennies that made little waves. I journaled and prayed, stroked memories, behaved, still nothing changed my day. I wanted to abort the final plea, instead I asked more diligently. I asked my God to see me through, I asked that he not leave me fooled. Took solace in the quiet request, took notice of the heaviness. Crossed fingers as a habit, no change, my heart had had it. When suddenly it came to me, it's never what you think. I stood and shook, took a deeper look, realized my strength was still in my hand. So I used that hand to direct the band that would play my woes away. I stood upright, and then I left that dismal plight. The second part reads, far removed from the tiger's den, struggling to remember where I've been, doped up on bliss created by influences greater than this. It's the me you've known that's dead to the woman I've sown, elated by the strides I've shown, grateful for the way I've grown, able to walk away from those whose movements cause me harm. Prayers of intercession from those who think they're blessing, they spend time thinking about what I've done wrong. Looking down from your throne, do you know the pain that I've known? From your pedestal you can barely see the flickers of madness in me, tamed like a raging sea. Testimonials of what just may be the end of an era, a period, a glorified epitome. With champagne on my lips, the smell of beer makes me flip, reminiscent of times long gone. I'm remembering my flaws, my triumphs, my joys give me pause, making me understand my depth today. Music playing when I walk, unwilling to talk the talk, preferring just to have you look and see. If you ever thought you knew me, ran down my truths just to school me, walked behind me just to view me, I'll let you in on the secret I've held. I'm exactly who I said I'd be. I give before it's asked of me, take time to love. I hold no envy, not bound by chains or store-bought revelry. Transparent, unaffected by judgment seat, aware of my journey, my biggest feat, to be authentically me. And it finally wraps up like this. Revelations drip like raindrops as colorful visions interrupt my thoughts. I'm struck mute by the power of words meant to enlighten, words meant to call to action those whose spirits seek freedom. Thinking of a master plan while the master plans our course, understanding drought as a redemptive force, speaking life into the void, spilling drops of new blood because you're sacrificially aware, checking the blueprint against your movements, lifting masses up in prayer, understanding that he who feeds the hungry will be more acutely aware of the terrors and atrocities our hearts must now bear. So you are your brother's keeper, but you left him to be kept by the wolf that you feared, now writhing in anguish, pierced by that legislative spear, hosting rallies and battle cries with thunderous roars. Now movement, now no change, so I'll check the score, allowing wisdom to conquer the dazzle of fight, but fighting for what's right shed light on our plight. So partner with your consciousness, hold hands with your faith, Live as though the blood on your hands has weight. Be as responsible for me as I am for you, like a circular saw cut close to the truth. Wake up from your sleep to behold what we've done. Some lay with their Bibles, some lay with their guns. Revolution takes place in the minds of a few. You question my motives, I question your view. Allow me to hold your tongue. I see your plight, but it's I who gets stung, revealing truths that could spray 1,000 shots, causing convulsatory shocks. I look in disbelief as I struggle to remember your worth, wondering if my assessment of you gave birth to a process of evaluation causing deep chasms in my current situation. See, I need you. I need you to stand hand in hand with my brothers and sisters if you can. I need you to walk, march, run, be assertive, diligent, militant, the intended pun. When the heaviness gives way and sunshine breaks the day, education and resilience pave the way. Then we can face our children. Then we can face our children. Then we can face millions.
That was nice.
Very rich.
Thank you, thank you.
Very
Thank
I've
you.
never heard her read before.
Thank you.
Very nice.
You know, we're going to take a real quick break for some underwriting, and then we'll be back with Annette, Billings, Terance Williams, and Karis, Harrington, and you'll have something for us. Yes?
I will.
Very good. We'll be right back.
Very nice. Where can I read more of your work?
I keep it all, I post some of it, post some of it on Facebook, I'm still compiling things, I
Yes,
have so
yeah.
much. just
Very,
right.
very rich, very beautiful.
Thank
I like that a lot.
This one.
Women's suffrage turns 95 on August 26th, and Women's Equality Week is presenting a full week of programs to honor women past, present, and future. Events include a global focus on women's equality, as well as attaining true and lasting equality for all women here at home. KKFI
Yes.
is presenting even more women-centered programs.
Be there at like 5:30.
August 29th.
Please, they be there at 5:30.
For more details, go to facebook.com/women's
Your special parking?
equality UBC. On Twitter at
Uh,
That's free parking for you.
Yeah, in the garage. Well, y'all get y'all things stacked.
This is Maria Vasquez Boyd with Speak Radio on 90.1 FM KKFI, Kansas City Community Radio. And we have the terrific Annette Billings, who's a good friend of KKFI. You
Yes.
spend a lot of time down here. You just unload Kansas City.
Oh, I don't know. You're just a little bit down the road.
That's true. Wherever you're happy, that's where we're happy too. So you want to read some of your work that...
I would.
Yeah.
This first piece is a poem called Laundry. And there's a common notion that everyone has dirty laundry, but I like to flip that on its side. So this is laundry. I hang my soul's garments outside to dry, in the yard, on the line, in front of God and all to see. Nosy neighbors, incomplete strangers who drive by slowly to gawk. Deeply stained articles of my life flapping in the breeze, irregular edges, sewn on patches, scars soaking up sun, unmended tears visible to the naked eye. I put them out there on purpose. I hang them up with defiance. I pin them on a line with premeditation and let them fly like flags. This I do, in hopes some splintered spirit will happen by and see my soul's garments looking uncannily like their own, ones they are too ashamed to show. And they will comprehend that such as they are, my clothes are clean and worthy of fresh air and bright sun. May it release them, embolden them, dare them to free their own soul's apparel from dark, dank places, and commit them to good air and bright sun, and to drape them in triumph beside my laundry.
That was amazing.
Oh, nice.
That was amazing.
Wow. And that's just a snippet of the talent that you'll hear at the second annual Women and Young Ladies of Poetry. Beautiful, very, just
Thank you.
lovely.
Thank you.
That's happening this Friday, August 14th, from 6 to 9 at the Nelson-Atkins Museum 4525 Oak. The musicandmorefoundation.com will give you more information about that, or the Nelson-Atkins.org. So this is an event that will have 14 poets reciting their original poetry.
That's right.
Awesome.
Yes, yes.
Awesome.
That's right.
Yes.
How were they selected?
A
Just
lot
really
of them,
curious about that.
a lot of them I know.
Uh-huh.
I've been doing this for about 5 years. I started at the Unicorn Theater, which is 12 poets, and now 5 years later I can call on like 68 poets here in the Kansas City area. I created the group Bold New Poets. After a few years, a lot of poets was like, hey, we're veterans, we've been doing this for a while. So I
Yeah.
dropped the word new, but I still get a lot of poets that I haven't met, and some of the poets,
Sure.
they just write at the house and they don't perform. So they contact me, I say, well, come on, get on the stage. And they come out and we just do their thing.
Now, you also have bold poets of men, right?
Yes.
Didn't you just have an event a couple
Yes,
months
we
ago?
did. We did a Men of Poetry at the Nelson-Atkins Museum. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a Men of Poetry, Women of Poetry, Women and Young Ladies of Poetry, and I'm also gonna do a poetry slam in April, which is National Poetry Month.
Yeah, and is that going to be here in Kansas City?
Yes,
Linda?
also be at the Nelson-Atkins
Oh,
Museum.
yeah. Like I said, it's a great venue, the stage and the seating and all that.
500 seats.
Yeah.
That'll be
Yeah.
great.
So you are really active in the Kansas City community, just with producing different events, right?
That's right.
Yeah, and I might mention that you also have your own show.
Yes, I have a radio show called The Gospel of Poets
Uh-huh.
on KPRT 1590 every second Saturday at 6 p.m. Sherry Purpose Hall, she hosts
Yeah,
it.
she's lovely.
Local
Yeah.
poet. Yeah, you know Sherry?
She's great.
I know Sherry, she's been on the show a time or two, yeah.
Yeah, right now they're in Oakland, California,
Uh-huh.
doing a poetry slam you lit.
Mhm.
Also be launching another radio show called Poetry Scene, 95.3 every second Sunday at 5 p.m. And I'll be also doing a blog right here at KKFI.
Oh,
That's
terrific.
excellent.
No, not a blog, a podcast.
A podcast.
Podcast. Thank you very much,
Yeah.
Karis. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's a good thing you're on vacation, because you have a lot going on,
Yes.
kids.
Very active.
But you all do, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and Terance is remarkable, just in his energy and, putting the events together. I've known him for a while, and I know him to be so dedicated to, the artistic community here in Kansas City that it's refreshing. People kind of forget how much Kansas City really has to offer and how many talented individuals there are. We consider ourselves so kind of small town and Midwestern that we forget that we have this amazing eclectic art scene. Even with, the shows that Terance has, it's an amazing place to live, and it's amazing to experience, the richness of the art that's here. And just hands down to Miss Billings, that was an amazing piece.
Oh, thank
you.
I'm
Absolutely.
still sitting in awe.
I write that it's autobiographical, so I write that in hopes others will hear and
Yes.
realize that we can.
And you're also on YouTube, right?
Yes. There's a series of 15 short videos of me reading from my work. If you just put my name in YouTube search, and it's Annette Billings, like Billings, Montana.
Well, and you have had so much going on.
Yes,
Every time
yes.
I follow you on Facebook, it's like, no, it's almost like, where's Annette
And
Billings?
I love what
Like,
Karis
where's
had to say,
Walden?
there's such a deep, rich wealth of
Yeah.
creativity
Yes.
in this area.
Well, and I've always say that there's always room for each other.
Yes.
It's not a
Yes,
competitive
yes,
sort of,
yeah.
move out of the way, kid.
Yeah. And there's not a shortage of spotlights.
Yeah,
There's
that's true.
room and support for every artist.
Yeah.
That's right.
And that's visual and music and writing.
Yes.
I find that in all walks of creativity. So, we're kind of winding down here. Do you have any final words, Terance? Any words of advice or?
Words of advice. Stay blessed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
And Annette?
Right from your heart.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Because who could question that?
Yeah. It's deep truth.
Karis?
And definitely to write for therapeutic reasons. It's so healthy
Yes.
to put sometimes that which you cannot say or that which you cannot speak, to be able to write it. And the release that you get from writing is of paramount importance, I think, to me. It's what I try to teach my children. And just stay true to who you are and watch your own evolutionary process. Watch yourself grow and give yourself credit when you hit those peaks and when you become what you're supposed to become. And stay blessed, I like that too.
Yes,
So definitely.
And really learn from one another, you know, when we were talking about the young and the more seasoned writers and poets, I mean, they're, you know, stay aware, stay,
Yes.
you know.
Stay open.
Open.
Yes, yes.
You all are so lovely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You know, you're welcome back anytime. Let's see, so any other events coming up besides this, individuals, any readings?
And I'd like to
or-
add that Friday's event is free to the public. It is.
Yeah, well, we can't say that, but you just did, but
Oh.
we can tell people that, you can go to Nelson-Atkins.org.
They can also find
Website.
us on Facebook, the
Yeah.
Music and More Foundation.
More Foundation.
You're all on Facebook
Yes.
individually?
Yes, individually.
We are all individually on and then we collectively
Yes.
support all the efforts.
And I know Annette has a book.
Yes.
Annette Full of
A
Hope.
Net Full of Hope that's
Yeah.
available on Amazon. Again, if you just put my name in the search box of Amazon.
Or your website.
Or my website,
Okay.
A Net Full of Hope at AnnetteFullofHope.com.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have a short piece that you might be able to share with us as we sort of wind down?
Just a real brief one.
Yeah.
It's called Brava. When they called places, she refused to debut as victim. She made them hold Act 1 while she adjusted her stance. She called for a bedazzler to decorate her scars and made them reprint the playbill, rename her character Survivor. She made her entrance, found her mark, upstaged all doubt she could carry the part. By the time they called curtain, roses carpeted her stage. She bowed before a rapt audience who exchanged their pity for applause.
Lovely,
Yeah.
lovely. I sit
Now-
in awe. I sit in awe.
Now,
That's
is that
wonderful.
copyrighted? Because I can
It
steal
is.
that.
Brava.
Oh, man, it's my opportunity.
Bravo. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, I do want to thank you all for sharing your time and your talent with us. And as we close out, I want to remind our listeners to stay tuned at 1 o'clock for Jazz in the Afternoon with Jeff Harshbarger, but I think Roger is filling in. You'll have to stay tuned for that. At 3 o'clock, we have Old G's Hangout with Groovy Grant. At 6 o'clock, All Souls Forum. Then at 7 o'clock, there's American Roots. At 9 o'clock, the Classical Challenge with either Dr. Mike or Mark Andrus. Not sure who's up next. I want to thank Terrence Williams, Karis, Harrington, Annette Billings. Thank you to Deanne Schinkel-Mitchell and Deb Leela of the Hospitalized Veterans Project Organization, and Andy Glutzian from the Whitney Library in Kansas City, Missouri. Next week, I can tell you on the show, which is August 19th. We're going through August pretty darn fast.
Very fast, very fast.
I'll have Jennifer Chenoweth, arts organizer, and just a former Kansas City native who will be on the show via telephone, and dancer, choreographer Jane Gotch. Also we'll have Ken Beanie and Dan Free with Trap Gallery. Ken will have an exhibition of his work there. Actually went to the Art Institute with Ken Beanie, so it'd be nice to, it'd be nice to catch up with Ken again. I want to thank all the listeners for tuning in today, making KKFI a priority. And you can find us on Facebook, either KKFI.org, and you can find ArtSpeak Radio on Facebook as well. So feel free to like us. Thank you all for tuning in, and I'm going to say it right now. Honey, I'm coming home.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
I can't even say it's free. That's it.
Now, but you guys are not for profit, so we won't get on that, but that's okay.
Okay,
That's okay.
all right. It's such a selling point. I'm gonna look up your stuff. I'm gonna look you up.
Thank you all so much, guys. Anytime you guys
Oh,
wanna come back,
yes,
give me a
yes,
holla.
yes.
Sure will.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, yes, yes. You never know when the news is happening.